Cannabis. The word on everybody's lips. Is it legal? Is it safe? We went into the lives of people who interact with cannabis every day in order to find out how cannabis affects those who live like there are no laws against it. A man treating hundreds by using cannabis. A man healing hundreds of cannabis addicts, and those brought back to life by this substance. We hit the streets of South Africa in order to find out what ordinary citizens think of cannabis. But what is the truth? Is dagga the future of South Africa's medicine, or the start of its demise?
I think weed is good. It doesn't do anything bad to anybody. I don't see anybody smoking weed.
Well, I don't really think it's bad. Like, I
We are a biopharmaceutical and natural healing research company. One of our controversials is obviously producing cannabis oil for sick people for medicinal purposes.
In January of 2016, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. Well, colon cancer, you get blood in your stool, and you have abdominal pains.
Just over 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I traveled around South Africa and I also contacted a lot of doctors overseas, and most of them told me that the honest truth is that most people don't survive the type of cancer I had, and they gave me a maximum of 6 years to live.
You know, I was using the cannabis oil. At that stage, there was a lot of it in the news media concerning the cannabis and concerning the legislation around cannabis.
Went on to Sheldon's oil, the Bobby Greenhash oil. I also changed my entire lifestyle. More than 2 years later, I'm still here and I test clear every 6 months, every year, and I don't believe I'll ever get sick again.
What we suspect is the cause of this is the constant, what tends to happen is real people use that green carboxylated soap, which is, they use it for washing and they use it to bath and that, and it's really not good for kids' sensitive skin, so it does cause this. So largely a lot of conditions in our community are caused by this, and although are curable with just a bit of change of lifestyle and the correct natural remedies, this kid's been under treatment for a period of time on conventional meds and nothing's working. So in any case, she had tried our cannabis-based creams. That's another picture of her. And after 5 days, that was pretty much what it looked like. So results speak for themselves.
I started smoking weed straight after high school. I had a lot of difficulties in high school, in terms of dyslexia.
Yeah, weed is my medicine. I don't take much medicine, so that's the reason why I keep smoking.
Yeah, I smoked occasionally for about 4 years, and then in varsity I started smoking a lot more because I got a prescription to take antidepressants, and I was just like, fuck that, I'd rather just smoke up. I knew as a 19-year-old person going into college that there were going to be a whole lot of substances thrown at me, So I had kind of, I planned it before.
Yeah.
I told myself, okay, fine. I know if I go to college, there's going to be cocaine, heroin, and alcohol, of course. There's going to be all of these things that are going to be in front of me.
People are using it for the wrong reasons, but they say medically it's good. But just for fun, I don't promote it because you find that a lot of brothers and sisters are caught up in these things, whereas they should be focusing on something that's, how can I put it, life-driven things.
I think weed is good. It doesn't do anything bad to anybody. I don't see anybody smoking weed and then deciding to go rob or mug somebody or rape anybody. Weed doesn't make you do that. Weed makes you relax and have a laugh and gives you munchies. Everybody loves food. Nothing's wrong with weed.
I have no problem with medical marijuana. Because we have what we call endocannabinoid receptors in our brain, it's got a lot of positive effects in certain situations. And yes, it should be legal, it should be used. As far as recreational use, these are the problems that we're going to have. We're going to have an increased usage amongst kids. We're going to have an increased morbidity due to the usage. We're going to have increased dropping out from schools. And the most dangerous, being a gateway drug, and which we experience right now, it's going to lead to other stronger drugs. And then when they use cannabis and you add something to it, you get a better high, and they'll gravitate to the higher drugs. And that's exactly what's happening with the epidemic of Wunga, Niobe, or sugars as we call it. This is a mixture of marijuana and heroin. And once they get onto heroin, you can really say their life is over.
Cannabis addiction and what defines an addict for me. There is no such thing as cannabis addiction. Cannabis is habit forming, but it's not addictive. In other words, if you decide you want to stop smoking cannabis today, you're not going to get any withdrawal symptoms like, for example, with cigarettes or alcohol or other drugs. Addiction, everybody's addicted to something, be it gambling, porn, TV, phone. Everybody has some form of escapism. Addiction isn't the problem, it is only a symptom of the problem. So when it comes to treating addiction, you need to find what is the underlying problem and then treat that.
So I kind of had to find something that could kind of gate me away. Like most people say, like weed is a gateway drug, but I kind of use weed as a gate blocker to stay away from those other drugs. So it was a situation of, I had this thing now that was giving my mind power where I've never had it before, and also helping me in a social environment.
Well, I don't really think it's bad per se. Like, I feel like it has more good than bad to it. And like, for instance, you have your cancer patients, you have your patients that are just generally ill. So for them, I feel like it's more of a benefit than not,
Opinion is that it should be allowed because it heals asthma. I'm not sure if it's asthma or something, but it cures that, and also that it doesn't do any harm to anybody, so it should be allowed.
Ngaqala ngineminyaka emithathu uphumile ngisadinga ikhanda. Kwangathi kuphelile kanti ngaphakathi kuyahamba ukugula. Emva kweminyaka emingaki kwase kuqhamuka into eyisilonda esincane la phansi kwesihlathi. Ngathi insumpa kanti ngaphakathi kuyaqhubeka ngahamba odokotela. Odokotela bengijova nginela philisi kuvele kuqale phansi kungabi ngcono.
Uthe nxa ikhula ubengumntwana engenankinga ephila futhi. Sengimbuyisa naseboarding school, wayeseboarding school eMaritzburg le. UDr Bobby ke mangifika kuyena wathatha imshini wakhanyisa wasibona wathi hey mama sesingenile kodwa ngizozama mama senze njani. Namhlanje engikubonga kakhulu uthe sesuka lapho wathi seyamthatha manje cela ukumthatha kithina njengomndeni abazali bakhe ehambe treat wakhe manje esibhedlela esihambisana noBobby. Bamzama yonke indlela bamtrainer, bamcleaner, bamnika ama drip. Kwathi noma wayenesiyezi saphela isiyezi kuyena. Namhlanje useyaphila nobuhle. Ngiyajabula enhlizweni yami somndeni siyajabula. Siyafisa ngelinye ilanga umndeni umbone lo Dr. Bobby.
Ngicela umbone ngisebenzela kakhulu. Ngoba ngisho insifo zakhona zokugeza namaloshini amaphilisi bengisiza kakhulu.
And if they can legalize cigarettes, which kill so many people, why can't they do it?
If it reduces asthma and helps asthmatic people, then surely there's a good side effect to it.
And it cures glaucoma.
Yeah, true. So yeah, I heard about that too. Mexican dudes or something explain that. So
I don't exactly have an opinion about weed, but then I know it is good medically because my mom, she's not really using it. She's trying to get the weed medication for her cancer. She has cancer, so it's said that it helps. So
You know, legality is an arguable point. What you know and what you can prove is two different things. And largely how we've tackled it is, we're saying, fine, we accept that you have this law in place that bans a plant or prohibits a plant, but justify it. Produce evidence that this plant is harmful, and we're looking at peer evidence, scientific evidence, and they can't come up with it. So it's a case of the stalemate. So they're saying, well, we'll have to wait till there's a constitutional decision. And this is a start of it, what's happened in the Western Cape High Court. This is eventually going to go to the Constitutional Court and it will be decided by them. So again, it's perception and reality. People see you're a big company, they don't want to come marching and then harass you. You know, if you're a 1-0 sitting at your home busy making weed medicine, you're an easy target. They can walk in there and arrest you and harass you, nothing you can do about it. But it's a little bit of a different game when it comes to the level of what we're doing it. We pay our taxes, we're a legitimate company. If they want to query us on the legality of the products that we produce, we're happy to go and defend it in court, and we have.
Legalization is going to benefit those older people, the more affluent people. But is it going to benefit the poorer people, whose children are far more vulnerable, who have no affordability when the children are affected? One's got to think again, who does the legalization for home use benefit? I'm worried about the abuse potential without the regulation being there. Yes, there's abuse right now with the regulation being there. But are we going to see a spiral in this or not? You know, the argument that alcohol is legal, we have a lot of problems with alcohol, that's true, perfectly true. Do we need to add more to our problem right now or not?
You know, we can regulate cigarette smoking, we can regulate drinking. If you look at the problems with prohibition, in essence, the government decides at what age your children can start smoking cigarettes, at what age they can start drinking alcohol. Unfortunately, it's the drug dealer on the corner that decides at what age your child starts smoking weed, crack, heroin, or whatever the case may be. So, in essence, a lack of regulation is what's causing the problems that we have.
That's the one thing, it's not addictive. Because I do forget. I'll be lying in bed already all comfy and my husband will say, Marina, have you done your oil? And I said, no. Because he knows the next morning, then everything is stiff.
Coming from a health conscious person, I'm a little bit wary of the recreational or abuse of cannabis or any medication. So, because once you have somebody abusing it on a recreational side, it gives it a bad name. And we don't want to see that happen, because for medicinal purposes, it is so good and it can benefit so many people.
I think each person should be entitled to do whatever they want in their own space and to their own bodies. I don't think anybody should have the right to tell another person what they should want to do for recreational reasons. I think that legal alcohol and painkillers that are also legal are actually used for recreational use and cause a lot more damage in people's lives than recreational cannabis does. I've never really heard of anyone harming anyone else because they smoked a joint.
So what is the answer? Is cannabis the future of South Africa's medicine? The truth is, no one really knows. But we got you thinking, we got you talking, we got you wondering. So maybe next time you take a pill, or even spark up, you'll remember the beauty of nature.
Small seed grown into a big tree, I wouldn't fight. Left the light on when you left a heart.